The American Geological Institute Medal of Memory of Ian Campbell is awarded in recognition of singular performance in and contribution to the profession of geology. Please welcome Vince Matthews of the Colorado Geological Survey, who will introduce this year's recipient.
Vicki J. Cowart is the recipient of the American Geological Institute's highest award, the Ian Campbell Medal. Like Campbell, her career as a geoscientist, educator, administrator, and public servant is noted by her candor and integrity. Throughout her career, Vicki has served as a mentor and model for many young geoscientists. Her career in the petroleum industry spanned 16 years with companies such as Mobil, Arco, and Schlumberger. As a manager, she mentored the many geophysicists whom she supervised. As co-founder and the first national president of the National Association for Women Geoscientists, she influenced the careers of many female geoscientists. During her decade as director of the Colorado Geological Survey, she mentored a generation of young supervisors in fiscal responsibility and productivity. She also served as a mentor for students at the Colorado School of Mines Geophysics Department. Her service to the geosciences includes positions of responsibility in several national professional organizations, including the National Academy of Sciences National Research Council. Vicki served as president of the Association of American State Geologists in 2001 and 2002. Some thought that her service to the geosciences ended with her selection as president and CEO of Rocky Mountain Planned Parenthood in 2003. However, her passion for the geosciences continues to be expressed as advisor for the AWG Foundation and by service on the three-person Board of Trustees for the Colorado School of Mines. It is my pleasure to present the 2010 Ian Campbell Award for Superlative Service to the Geosciences to my distinguished colleague, Vicki Cowart.
Thank you, Vince. I am touched by those comments, particularly coming from my state geologist. I left the position of Colorado State Geologist in 2003, and coming back for this very surprising honor, seeing old friends from the geosciences world, lets me imagine what it might be like to receive a posthumous award. It was hard to leave the CGS. Being the Colorado State Geologist is an amazingly fun, rewarding job, and probably the best there is considering our geology here. I left for a new world I didn't really understand at that time, but throughout that I've continued to think fondly of the people I left, the work I left behind. To be called back to receive this honor is a thrilling experience. Leaving a 25-year career must be like leaving the land that you were raised in, land of your birth, on a long ship voyage to new lands. At first you wave to the people on shore. Eventually the shoreline begins to recede. You can't really see them anymore. And your thoughts begin to turn to the new work that you have. Eventually that old world disappears and you're on the new work at hand. You think about what they're doing back home. You think about the budget season and the liaison trip time. But you're on to new things. You have new responsibilities. You're in a new world. You have new routines, new people, and new pressing issues to be concerned with. 8 years of engaging, rewarding work is enough time to really lose track of those details of the old world. I remember the people. I was happy to re-engage friendships coming here tonight. I remember that sense of camaraderie and the sense of accomplishment that I experienced with my colleagues. But today, modern health has replaced SCG's leading edge as my claim time reading, and I'm honored to be honorary member of both AASG and AWG. But as I scan the emails and the newsletters, I recognize fewer names. My accent has changed. Of course, I continue to admire geoscientists who make significant contributions, and we're hearing about so many of those tonight. And I stand up here, the first of many recipients of honors, acknowledging that significant work to the world and contribution to our well-being. These folks are finding and figuring out how to find and use better energy sources. They're working on geologic engineering to make our ever-changing landscape safer to be in. It was great working with the people of the CGS, and I continue to admire the work they do. They provide the citizens and the government and policymakers of this great state information to be able to make good decisions. The work in my new world is actually, it may seem different, but it actually is quite similar. I work for good policies to provide useful information for people to make good decisions, and that's the common language between my old world and my new world today. I vividly remember a time when a woman called me as the state geologist to ask what to do about a rockfall near her house, particularly this large boulder that was perched over her home. And so on the phone I said, "Ma'am, let me ask you, are you calling me from inside your house?" "Yes," she answered. "Well, in that case, gather up the kids and the pets, go on down the road and call me from a safe location, and then we'll figure out what to do." That's not very different from what happens every day at Planned Parenthood when a teenager comes in to find out if they have a life-threatening disease like HIV. We first determine if the disease is present and get that young person into treatment, and then we figure out the information they need, the education they need to take care of themselves going forward. So useful and life-saving information that helps individuals, families, communities, and ultimately our society is the common theme or the common language between my old world of geological surveys and my new world of Planned Parenthood. And like geoscience, today's work that I do is also a calling. My admiration for the people from my old geoscience world makes this award very meaningful to me. Groups like AASG, AWG, SEG, AGI, AIPG, CGS, CSM, and of course our host organization, GSA, and all the extraordinary scientists and individuals that populate those groups. These are folks that every day are making significant contributions to the well-being of our world. Working with them was educational, inspirational, and rewarding back when I was a real geoscientist, and I am honored and touched by this honor today. Whatever success and accomplishments I have in my current world are rooted in what I learned from these folks. So being invited back home for this very special event evokes good memories and reinforces the pride I have at my origins among you in the world of geoscience. Thank you.